Good afternoon. I'm Sarah Sims, SNAP Nutrition Educator for Southern University Ag Center, Madison Parish. Welcome to our series today on food preservation. Are you ready? Your gardens are ready. You're enjoying your harvest, but you can't eat all of this food. So we are going to share some tips with you today on how to preserve your bounty, your wonderful bounty, because there's a lot of things growing in the garden and that's ready for us to eat and consume this season. In our sessions, we will show you how you can preserve your produce safely. There are different ways to preserve your vegetables and fruit. There's freezing, there's canning, dehydrating, are all methods that are all safe to preserve your vegetables and fruits from your garden, the farmer's market, and other sources. And this way, your family can enjoy the fruits and vegetables all year long. There has been an increased interest in growing home gardens this year. Local and organic foods are once again have a renewed interest in food preservation. Many families for the first time have planted a vegetable garden, and we are experiencing increased interest in home food preservation. Food preservation provides a number of benefits that are relevant to today's lifestyle. Number one, it allows you to manage your family nutrition. It allows you to control the ingredients in your recipe and to express your own personal creativity. Home food preservation methods have existed for centuries, and we have learned a lot about the science and the benefits of these practices in the past years. In our three sessions, we will have three sessions. That will be today, tomorrow at 12, and Monday at 12. We will cover canning basic, freezing pickles, making jellies and jams, and also not freezing pickles, freezing, pickling jellies and jams. So bear with us, and we're excited to share this information with you. First things first, and I do need you to remember this: use and follow credible recipes. You want to follow them and follow them exactly. You don't want to use any other methods. So you need to have a good source of your recipes. You also want to be sure to process your low acid foods in a pressure canner. If you have a dial gauge pressure canner, test the gauge for accuracy each year before you use it, and use your canner correctly. Make sure you follow the manufacturer's direction for use and care. Check your jars to make sure that they are sealed and safe to use. And by all means, practice safety at all times. So at this time, I'm going to share with you some of the first things you need. First things first. Now, canning, it is not inexpensive. It is a little bit expensive and it's a little costly, but it takes care of itself in the long run. And before you start, it's important to have the right tools on hand. So you're going to need the proper canning jars. And if you notice here, they come in an array of different sizes, and there are different brands on the market now, and these are reusable. But we do encourage, you must check them to make sure that there are no cracks and chips in them, because if they're cracked or chipped, they're not safe to use. You won't get a proper seal. The rings are reusable, so you don't have to throw these away. You can use these year after year if you clean them properly and put them away properly. Your canning lids, these are not reusable. I don't recommend reusing them. We'll put it that way, because there's a little seal in here. So once this has been used, to be sure you get the proper seal, you want to make sure you use a new one every time. Over here, I have a variety of jars and things that you all have at home, we all have, but these are not recommended for home canning processes. They will not take the heat, and for a number of reasons. And as we go through some of our sessions tomorrow and Monday, I'll share more of that with you. Some of the other utensils you will need a timer, jar lifts, and this is for letting the air bubbles out. This is the funnel here. Of course, you may want to use two of these, because if you're really doing things in a hurry, you may need to use two of them. So we're going to show you how to use all of these utensils in our practices tomorrow. Also, we're going to go to our canners now. And we have what we have. We have a pressure canner and we have a water bath. There's a difference in them. And I want to point out, as I said earlier, you want to make sure that you check your canner before you start at the beginning of the year. Before you start, you want to check everything to make sure that it's working properly. And how do you do that? You do that by filling a jar full of water and filling your jar with water, putting the lids on it, and putting it inside of the canner with the amount of water that's recommended. And you actually want to run a test run to be sure that it is proper. All of your settings are proper. By all means, follow your instructions and keep your instructions guide. So follow those with all of your canners. There are several brands on the market now. This one is an All-American, and I must say it is definitely an All-American. I've had it for about 35 years now, so it has really done its job. And on canners now, you want to make sure that I know in some pantries and some yard sales, you may come across pressure canners. This is an older one, and it has a rubber gasket. So these need to be replaced. Those that have rubber gaskets need to be replaced. But this one is an older one that we've had that we're not using, but we're not throwing it out. Over here, you have your water bath. And your water bath is for making your jellies and your jams, what have you. It comes with a big pot with the top, and it has a little racket that goes down inside of it. Now, you can use any deep pot as a water bath, as long as it's deep enough to cover your jars that you're putting in there. And I guess you notice here, I have a teapot. You may wonder what this is for. Well, I keep hot water going because in the process time, the water will evaporate. And sometimes when you get ready to put your jars in, it's not enough water. You don't want to add cold water to it. You want to add the hot water. So that's why you need to keep your vessel of hot water going at all time. And over here, we have some other, this is a pressure canner, a pressure cooker, and that's one. This is All America. This is Presto. There are a lot of varieties on the market, so for you to try and use, but by all means, do follow your instructions. The two methods of canning we're going to be working with in our session will be the ball and water canner, and again, the pressure canner. So, and do follow all of the recommendations, follow your guide completely in doing so. The boiling water bath, we use it mostly for like tomatoes, your fruits, pickles, and things of that nature. For your pressure canner, those for your low acid food. That would be your vegetables, your meats, and things like that. Tomatoes and with your low acid, everything except tomatoes and figs. With tomatoes and figs, you'll have to add something along with them, an acid for those when you're canning those fruits. Avery. Okay. We have touched on some methods, and we will go into more detail with these methods a little bit later on. And I thank you for joining us today. Pressure canning is nothing new. It's not hard. It's nothing new. You take a little time and practice, and you'll get the hang of it. I recommend starting small, starting with something simple, maybe some jellies, jams, maybe some pickles. But do start very small, and don't be afraid. But also always use the recommended recipes, recommended guide. Now, recipes from your friends or your grandmother or what have you, be sure to compare those with the up-to-date recipes, because there may be something left out there. Like I said, there are old recipes, and I have a collection of them, and they're good reading. So I sit down and compare what I like with the new method. So by all means, follow the directions. Thank you. If there are any questions, please contact us at the Ag Center. At the end of this presentation, there will be a survey for you to fill out and complete. And remember, we're here. There is an Ag Center somewhere near you in Louisiana. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Sarah Sims.